Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is one that's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you've ever wondered what makes Pisces so different, or dare I say, weird. Yes, you heard that right. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of Pisces and exploring 15 reasons why this zodiac sign is considered one of the most intriguing and mysterious signs in astrology. You've probably heard people describe Pisces as being a little, well, out there, and today, we're going to break down exactly why that's the case and how their uniqueness really makes them stand out in the best possible way. Now, if you've ever met a Pisces, you might have noticed their dreamy nature, their deep emotional sensitivity, and that almost magical ability to be in tune with everything around them. But what does that really mean? Why do they seem so different from other signs? Maybe you've even asked yourself, what makes Pisces so weird? Well, get ready because we're about to explore all the reasons that make this sign not just fascinating, but absolutely one of a kind. From their boundless imagination to their uncanny ability to connect with others on a deep, almost psychic level, Pisces can sometimes come across as mysterious or hard to understand. But trust me, there's a method to the madness, and we're going to uncover just how their unique traits blend together to create the beautiful complexity that is Pisces. You might have heard people say they live in a fantasy world, or they're constantly shifting between emotions, but we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details of why they do this and how these weird traits actually make them so lovable, intriguing, and definitely memorable. If you're a Pisces, or if you know one, you're going to love this video. And if you've ever been curious about the mysterious world of Pisces, stick around because we're about to dive deep into the quirks, mysteries, and magic of this zodiac sign. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll either be nodding in agreement if you're a Pisces, or you'll totally get why they're considered weird, and you might even find yourself admiring them a little more than you did before. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's take a fun ride through 15 reasons why Pisces is so wonderfully weird. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy this kind of content, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another video. Let's jump right in. 1. Pisces lives in a fantasy world. Pisces are often described as dreamers, and this is not just a figure of speech, it's a defining characteristic. They have an incredible ability to escape into their own world, a place where anything is possible. This fantasy world is where Pisces go to recharge, to create, and to process all the emotions and experiences they take in. It's not that they're trying to avoid reality, it's that their imagination and creativity are so rich that they sometimes get lost in it. For Pisces, this fantasy world can serve as an emotional sanctuary, a place where they can feel safe and free from the constraints of the real world. Whether it's daydreaming about grand adventures, visualizing a perfect future, or crafting elaborate stories in their minds, Pisces are constantly exploring alternate realities. This ability to live in a fantasy world can make them seem detached at times, as if they're not fully engaged with what's happening around them. However, it's this very quality that often fuels their creativity and helps them connect with their inner selves on a deeper level. It's also why they can be so deeply empathetic and understanding, because they spend so much time in their own world, they're often able to see things from multiple perspectives. Their connection to fantasy allows them to escape when life gets too overwhelming, and though it might seem weird to some, it's actually a vital part of their emotional and mental well-being. 2. They have intense empathy. Pisces are known for their exceptional ability to empathize with others, perhaps more so than any other zodiac sign. Their emotional sensitivity allows them to feel and understand the pain, joy, and struggles of those around them, sometimes even before the other person fully expresses them. This intense empathy can make them appear as if they're deeply connected to the emotional currents of the world, which can be both beautiful and overwhelming. They're not just sympathetic, they truly feel what others are going through, whether it's joy, sadness, or frustration. Because of this, Pisces often have a natural ability to comfort and support others, providing a safe space for those in need. However, this can also be one of their greatest challenges. The intensity of their empathy means that they're constantly absorbing the emotions of others, which can sometimes lead to emotional exhaustion. They can get so caught up in the feelings of those around them that they forget to take care of themselves. Their empathetic nature is one of the things that makes them so uniquely weird, because it can be difficult for others to understand just how deeply Pisces are affected by the energy and emotions in their environment. But despite the challenges, their empathy is a gift, allowing them to form connections and offer understanding in ways that few other signs can. 3. They're dreamers, not doers. One of the most iconic traits of Pisces is their dreamy nature, but it's this very quality that can sometimes make them seem impractical or unrealistic. While they have endless ideas and visions for what could be, they often struggle with turning these dreams into reality. Pisces can spend hours imagining their perfect future, mapping out elaborate plans, or crafting intricate stories, but when it comes to executing these ideas, they may find themselves lacking the practical drive to make them happen. It's not that they don't have the talent or the creativity, they absolutely do, but they can become so consumed with the fantasy of what could be that they lose focus on the practical steps necessary to bring it to life. This dreamer's mindset can sometimes frustrate others, especially those who are more action-oriented or goal-driven. But the beauty of Pisces lies in their ability to dream big and think beyond the limits of reality. They may not always follow through with every idea, but their ability to imagine new worlds and possibilities is one of the things that makes them uniquely weird. While they may not always be the ones taking the action, their dreams are often the seed for new ideas, and their creative vision can inspire others to take the steps they themselves struggle to take. 4. They have an unpredictable nature. One thing that makes Pisces stand out is their unpredictability. They can go from one extreme to another without any clear warning, and this constant shift in moods and actions can make them seem a bit erratic at times. This unpredictability is often tied to their deeply emotional nature. Pisces are influenced by the ebb and flow of their feelings, and just as the tide rises and falls, so do their moods. One moment they might be incredibly cheerful and full of energy, and the next, they could be introspective and quiet, lost in their own thoughts. This emotional fluidity makes them hard to pin down, and sometimes even their closest friends and family can't predict what a Pisces might do or feel next. To some, this can seem weird because it's hard to know what to expect from them, and their shifting moods can make them seem unstable or inconsistent. However, this unpredictability also adds to their charm. It keeps people on their toes and makes interactions with Pisces feel exciting and unpredictable. While it may be challenging at times, their ability to move through emotions with such fluidity is a reflection of their deep sensitivity and connection to the world around them. This unpredictable nature, though it might seem erratic, is a part of what makes them so uniquely themselves. 5. They're highly intuitive. Pisces are incredibly intuitive, perhaps more so than any other sign in the zodiac. They have an innate ability to pick up on the subtle energies and unspoken emotions of the people around them, often sensing what others are feeling without a word being said. This deep intuitive ability can seem almost mystical to those who are more logical or grounded, but for Pisces, it's a natural way of being. They can read a room in seconds and pick up on emotions, moods, and undercurrents that others may miss entirely. This sensitivity to the emotional and energetic environment around them often makes Pisces appear otherworldly or even psychic. They have a deep understanding of people's needs, motivations, and desires, and this ability allows them to form meaningful connections with just about anyone. But while this intuitive power is a gift, it can also be overwhelming. Pisces are so attuned to the world around them that they can easily become overwhelmed by the emotions of others, sometimes leading to confusion or emotional overload. Their intuition is often what guides them in life, and it's one of the reasons why they can seem weird to others. It's like they have a window into a deeper layer of reality that others may not even be aware of. This powerful intuition is what allows Pisces to form such deep, meaningful relationships, but it also means they're constantly swimming in a sea of emotions, picking up on things that others don't even notice. 6. Pisces can be extremely introverted. Pisces are often considered one of the most introverted signs of the zodiac, and this can sometimes be misunderstood by those around them. While they can be social and engaging when they need to be, Pisces have a deep need for solitude. They often require time alone to recharge and process all of the emotional energy they absorb from others. This need for introspection and personal space can make them seem distant or withdrawn, but it's a vital part of who they are. The world is a lot for a Pisces to take in, emotions, energy, and sensations come at them from all directions, and in order to stay balanced, they retreat into their own world. This can lead them to seem aloof or unapproachable, but it's not a reflection of their feelings toward others. They simply need time alone to recharge and recalibrate. This introversion makes them excellent listeners and deeply empathetic individuals, but it also means they can sometimes feel disconnected from the world around them. When Pisces do engage with others, they bring a level of depth and understanding that's hard to find elsewhere. However, their need for quiet time is something that can make them appear weird to those who are more extroverted or who crave constant social interaction. It's just the way Pisces recharge and find their balance. 7. They have an amazing imagination. One of the most beautiful things about Pisces is their boundless imagination. They can create entire worlds in their minds, filled with characters, stories, and adventures that are often more vivid than reality. This rich inner world is one of the reasons why Pisces are so often seen as weird, because they are constantly dreaming up things that are impossible or fantastical. For Pisces, the line between reality and fantasy can be quite blurred. They can easily immerse themselves in a daydream, completely lost in the beauty of their own thoughts. This imagination isn't just limited to daydreaming, though, it also fuels their creativity. Many Pisces are artists, writers, or musicians who channel their imaginative worlds into their work, creating beautiful, ethereal pieces that resonate with others. Their ability to think outside of the box and see possibilities that others can't is one of the things that makes them unique. However, it can also make them seem out of touch with reality. They may spend so much time imagining how things could be that they struggle to engage with the practicalities of how things actually are. This daydreaming quality can sometimes make Pisces seem unrealistic or flighty, but in reality, it's a reflection of their deep inner life, where they explore every possibility and believe in the power of imagination to transform the world around them. 8. They're terrible at making decisions. Pisces are notoriously bad at making decisions, and it's not because they're indecisive by nature, it's because they care so much about every single detail and the potential outcomes. A simple decision can become an overwhelming process, as Pisces tend to overthink everything. They consider not only their own feelings but the feelings of others, the potential consequences, and the emotional impact of their choices. This tendency to overanalyze can make it incredibly difficult for them to make even the most straightforward decisions. Should they order the pizza with extra cheese or the one with mushrooms? What if the other option would have made someone happier? Should they stay in or go out? What if they miss out on something great by choosing the wrong thing? The endless what-ifs and considerations can trap a Pisces in a loop of indecision. This trait can make them appear flaky or unreliable to others, especially those who prefer to make quick, confident decisions. However, for Pisces, it's never that simple. Every decision is a reflection of their deep emotional world, and they want to make the choice that aligns with their values, their feelings, and their ideal vision of the world. While this can slow them down, it's also what makes them so compassionate and considerate. They genuinely care about the effects of their actions on the people around them. 9. They're very idealistic. Pisces are deeply idealistic, and this trait can sometimes make them seem disconnected from the world as it is. They see the world through rose-colored glasses, believing in the inherent goodness of people and the possibility of a perfect world. This idealism can lead them to expect more from others and from life than what's realistically possible. They often dream of perfect scenarios, whether it's in relationships, career, or the world at large. They want to see kindness and beauty in everything, and when that doesn't happen, it can be a harsh wake-up call. This idealism can make them feel out of place in a world that isn't always so ideal. They may be disappointed when reality doesn't live up to their dreams, which can lead to feelings of frustration or even disillusionment. However, this deep belief in the good in people and the potential for a better world is what makes Pisces so compassionate and inspiring. They're the ones who believe that things can always get better, that love can conquer all, and that everyone has the capacity for change. While their idealism can sometimes be seen as weird or impractical, it's actually one of the most beautiful aspects of their personality. It keeps them hopeful, driven, and focused on what could be, rather than what is. 10. They're unconventional. Pisces are known for being unconventional, and this trait is what makes them so uniquely themselves. They don't like to follow the crowd, and they're not interested in adhering to societal norms or expectations. For Pisces, life isn't about fitting into a predefined mold, it's about creating their own path, one that feels true to who they are. This unconventional nature often manifests in the way they dress, the way they speak, or the way they live their lives. They might choose a career that others deem risky, pursue relationships that challenge societal norms, or adopt an unconventional lifestyle that reflects their creative and free-spirited personality. Pisces are not afraid to stand out, and they're often ahead of their time when it comes to new ideas or trends. They prefer to explore new ways of thinking, and this open-mindedness makes them incredibly adaptable and innovative. However, this rebellious streak can sometimes make them appear weird to others who prefer to stick to the traditional way of doing things. Pisces don't see life as a straight path, they see it as a winding journey full of possibilities, and they're not afraid to take the road less traveled. Their unconventional ways of thinking and living might seem strange to some, but it's exactly what makes them so interesting and deeply connected to their authentic selves. 11. Pisces are great listeners. Pisces have an incredible ability to listen, and it's one of the reasons they're often seen as one of the most empathetic signs in the zodiac. They're not just hearing your words, they're truly listening to what's behind them. When you talk to a Pisces, they make you feel like your emotions and thoughts matter. It's not uncommon for a Pisces to give you their full attention, patiently absorbing everything you say. They pick up on subtle cues that others might miss, the way your voice trembles, the look in your eyes, the feelings that are unspoken but clearly communicated. This deep level of listening is part of what makes them so effective at offering support and comfort. They're able to tune into your energy and understand exactly what you need to hear, whether it's a word of encouragement or a moment of silence. For Pisces, listening is an art form, and it's deeply connected to their intuition and emotional intelligence. They don't just respond to your words, they connect with your heart, which can make their advice and feedback feel like a balm for your soul. However, this trait can sometimes be overwhelming for Pisces because they take on so much emotional energy from others. Their deep empathy can lead to emotional exhaustion if they don't take the time to protect their own energy. But even then, they continue to be a steady support for those they care about, which makes them so uniquely valuable in relationships. Their ability to truly hear what others are saying is a skill that many people find both rare and deeply comforting. 12. They live in their own world. Pisces often seem like they're living in their own little world, and this is both one of their most charming and perplexing qualities. They can become so absorbed in their thoughts and feelings that it can sometimes feel like they're disconnected from the world around them. It's not that they don't care, it's just that their minds are constantly swirling with creativity, emotions, and ideas that take them to a place where they can think deeply and freely. To others, this can seem a bit weird, because Pisces don't always respond to what's happening in the moment, they're too caught up in their internal world. This can make them seem aloof or distant, but in reality, they're just processing everything on a deeper level. Whether they're lost in a daydream, lost in thought, or lost in an art project, Pisces have the ability to retreat into their own mental space where they can explore new ideas and feelings. This habit of retreating into their own world can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, as others may feel like they're being ignored or left out. But for Pisces, their internal world is essential to their mental and emotional well-being. It's their safe space, where they can sort through their emotions and find meaning in life's complexities. While this can sometimes make them seem like they're weird or out of touch with reality, it's actually one of their most creative and self-reflective qualities. 13. They're extremely sensitive to criticism. Pisces are highly sensitive, and this sensitivity extends to how they handle criticism. While many people can brush off negative feedback or take it in stride, Pisces tend to internalize criticism and take it very personally. They feel the sting of hurtful words deeply and often carry that emotional weight long after the interaction is over. It's not that they're overly sensitive in a fragile way, they simply absorb everything they hear and feel it deeply, especially when it comes to feedback from others. This emotional sensitivity can make Pisces seem weird to those who have thicker skin or are used to dealing with criticism more pragmatically. However, for Pisces, criticism isn't just a simple comment, it feels like an attack on their very essence. They pour so much of themselves into everything they do, and when someone criticizes them, it feels like a personal rejection of their heart and soul. This trait can lead to Pisces retreating into themselves or even becoming defensive, not because they're trying to avoid feedback, but because they need time to process it and protect their emotional state. Over time, though, this sensitivity helps them grow and improve, as they're constantly striving to be better for themselves and those they care about. It's also what makes them incredibly compassionate, because they understand how it feels to be hurt. They are often the first to offer kindness and comfort when others are struggling. 14. They tend to avoid conflict. One of the most defining characteristics of Pisces is their aversion to conflict. They will do almost anything to avoid confrontation, even if it means sacrificing their own needs or desires. This desire to keep the peace stems from their deep emotional sensitivity. They don't want to hurt others or create tension, so they often retreat from difficult conversations or situations. This can make Pisces seem overly passive or indecisive to others, as they might avoid standing up for themselves in order to maintain harmony. While this might seem weird to those who are more direct or confrontational, for Pisces, avoiding conflict is a way of protecting their emotional world. They thrive in environments that are calm and peaceful, and any form of tension can leave them feeling drained and unsettled. This tendency to avoid conflict can also mean that Pisces struggle with setting boundaries. They'll often put others' needs before their own, which can lead to them being taken advantage of or feeling neglected. While their avoidance of conflict is born out of a genuine desire to maintain peace, it's also important for them to learn how to assert themselves and advocate for their own needs. Still, this preference for harmony is what makes Pisces such gentle, nurturing souls who are willing to do whatever it takes to keep the peace and ensure everyone feels loved and cared for. 15. They're highly creative. Creativity flows through Pisces like a natural force. Whether it's art, music, writing, or any other form of self-expression, Pisces have a deep well of creativity that they tap into constantly. Their ability to think outside the box and come up with original ideas is unparalleled, and they are often the ones who see the world differently than others. This creativity can sometimes come across as weird, because Pisces don't always conform to traditional methods or approaches. They prefer to do things their own way, using their imagination to guide them toward unique solutions. This trait makes them incredibly innovative and capable of producing work that is both beautiful and thought-provoking. However, their creativity also means they can sometimes struggle with focusing on practical tasks or completing projects. Pisces tend to get lost in the process, and the end result is often more important to them than the logistical steps required to reach it. While this can make them appear scattered or unreliable to others, it's also what makes their work stand out. Pisces pour their heart and soul into everything they create, and it's this emotional investment that gives their art its depth and resonance. Their creativity is a gift that makes them uniquely weird, and it's one of the things that draws people to them, even if others can't always understand the abstract beauty of their ideas. So, there you have it, 15 reasons why Pisces is considered weird, but in the most intriguing and unique way. From their rich imagination and deep emotional sensitivity to their idealism and creativity, Pisces are definitely one of a kind. While some of their traits might seem confusing or hard to understand to those who aren't familiar with them, it's these very qualities that make them so special. The way they see the world, the way they feel so deeply, and the way they can create beauty out of nothing is something to be admired, even if it can sometimes be a bit difficult to relate to. It's important to remember that weird isn't a negative word. For Pisces, being weird is about standing out in ways that others might not fully grasp, but that doesn't make their existence any less valuable or beautiful. Their ability to dream, to create, and to connect with others on such a profound level is a gift to the world. Whether they're retreating into their minds or offering the deepest empathy to those around them, Pisces add a layer of complexity and depth that makes life a little more interesting. If you're a Pisces, I hope this video made you feel understood and celebrated for all your quirks and unique traits. If you're not a Pisces but know someone who is, I hope this gave you a better understanding of what makes them tick and why they might act in ways that are a little different from other signs. At the end of the day, we all have our own weird qualities, and it's what makes us human. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether you're a Pisces or have one in your life, drop a comment below and share what makes Pisces so special to you. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe for more Zodiac insights. Until next time, embrace your weirdness, because it's what makes you truly unique.